I feel like ISSL Noob Alliance is the team that might just have outperformed themselves. But my question would be different. Like, who do you think is going to be win, and like who do you think is going to win? And also, like the game has started, so it better get that quickly as well.
I think stronger esports might come back again with another hit, especially judging by how they were yesterday. It's actually stronger and Victor. Both of them have been really good. So I'm kind of caught between the two of them. And as we're just jumping in right now to our first game of the day, this is day 4, match 19, Erangel, and it's the semifinals which you are watching with us. And it is the PUBG Mobile National Championship South Asia Wildcard 2022.
Exactly, but for now we have, I feel like a lot of map being accessible, although shooting range Zerche is out of range, and in generally if we want to go toward those areas we have to use some kind of road network, a couple of vehicles to make that rotation. Georgiapol is also a bit inaccessible, but I feel like there's no team that want to move towards those areas. A couple of teams moving towards Yasnia Polyana is the SITM along with VG, but VG I feel like they're just dropped on the outskirts of Yasnia, found themselves a couple of vehicles, and they might just be moving towards Stalberg shooting range, so they want to avoid Yasnia in generally. Team Call and Team Macman, they might just be taking it out towards the Rozhok area. School is might just also be contested again. The last time it happened with RX and NBES, and it ended up with RX taking all of NBES from that area. So we might just see a round 2 on this side. Milta Farm and towards the Milta Power as well. We might see a couple of clashes coming in. Equinox and INES is in very close proximity with each other, and they might just try to avoid as much as they can. But when there's like danger in front of you, you got no option other than to face it.
That is true. And if it means that you got to take it on with a gun or a frying pan, it has to be done. But we haven't really seen any of those moments where there have been a few melees, so to speak, taking place. Even though we do see a few of the contenders with them out, as you can see right now, they haven't really had those moments per se to really use it. And already we've seen a knock taking place, and in fact, yet another knock. So Equinox in a little bit of trouble there from what we just witnessed. It wasn't. Yes, actually, Equinox Twist has been eliminated. So we have two eliminations very early on in this first game of the day. So that's NB Esports have lost one, and right now what you're seeing is Equinox and Inertia Esports in very close quarters. Is this a moment where we might see a team elimination? Is what we are to witness in just a short moment.
Exactly, and I feel like Team Equinox wasn't looking for that kind of engagement. They were just hopeful that they get dropped and move more towards like looting those areas. But INES, they just generally wanted to be in aggressive position. It have worked out for them. They all like got one elimination on Equinox Twix, but at the same time they have to be careful that they shouldn't be getting too aggressive in this engagement. At the same time, INES is not qualifying right now. They're at number 12 position, so I could see a bit of, I could expect a bit of aggression coming from those towards their side. Okay, unfortunately for Kage, he has been left behind by his teammates, and he has no option other than to just walk it off or maybe run away from the danger. And the team goes like a, I'm really sorry, but they don't allow three three person on a single bike in this game. Otherwise, if it was like maybe South Asia, this would have been easily possible.
All right. Well, it looks like he's going to be hailing his taxi now, as one of them are going back for him. So hey, kudos. And also, something again to highlight is the first elimination came from Retaliation X, who is at the very bottom of the standings. As you mentioned, it could be that they are looking at a more aggressive approach. You know, they really have nothing else to lose. Let's just get in. Let's put caution to the wind and maybe get a few of these eliminations and hopefully try to get at least into the top 10, because that would be a good start in this map, which will most certainly improve their overall standings. Because remember that the 11th position right now and those below it are neck and neck when it comes to their scores. And all you need is one or two good matches today, and you might well qualify. So there's a lot on the line. It's not, it's anyone's opportunity to be in the top 11 today.
Exactly. I feel like top 11 today, that's going to be the major question of the day, and we would love to know the answer as much as like we got like half of that answer covered as well with Team Classic in a very comfortable position. Team as well, Team SITM, Team Bad Intention, they're almost qualifying a couple of good games, not just like good game, maybe average games as well, and they would be definitely qualifying. So it has come down to the like from 7th to maybe 14th position or 15th position, and that question will be answered right after like 3 to 4 to 5 games there definitely. And after the end of the day, we'll be like, okay, these are the teams that are qualifying into the finals. Unfortunately for the team that couldn't qualify, but for now, looking at the circle, that's towards the far, towards not the far, a bit towards the eastern side of the map, preferring farm Milta areas as well. And if circle goes towards the Milta, that's going to be a very difficult area to play in. Generally, there are a lot of compounds that you could hold. That also stops some teams taking fights, because in generally when you ever talk about circles closing in towards the compounds or towards the cities, it's just like holding games as well. You could, even if you try to use utility, nobody want to get out of their compounds and get aggressive against the other team. Everybody's very comfortable behind some walls or some rooms, in just general rooms as well. So we may be seeing a minute game going towards 28 or 29th minute as well if the circle closes towards Milta. But if it moves towards the outskirts of Milta farm in generally, where there's like just land and some maybe some very few cover, then we could see some a very aggressive game coming up. In that case, we would love to see a couple of utility being used, and I feel like this is a match, this is a map where the most utility also being used. And I remember a number coming up like 300 throwables being used in the map of Erangel, while as compared to Sandhog it was just 78 or 80. And I feel like, oh, that's an absurd number, an absurd amount of difference that exists between these two maps.
Yeah, and Erangel, we have seen it go down to like the sixth, seventh, and almost to the final circle. And it does show, as you were mentioning, a lot of utilities being used, especially towards the very end, trying to get that clip damage and trying to weaken the team so that when they comes to that last skirmish of the head on, that you kind of get that upper hand. And with that, at the moment, the vehicles are in play. We haven't still seen any instances of any roadside eliminations as of yet for the start of Erangel. but it is a but it is a map which you have, it's very diversified in that sense. And as you can also see on the
Exactly.
map itself, the circle is closing in, and we are going to start seeing the likes of B Esports, OPX to Astra, and the CMF make their way in. And during this time, there could be those instances of a few clashes where we have seen teams losing out because they have been a bit late on those rotations, because they want to take a step back and not really put too much pressure on themselves. And then finally, they are in a fair bit of trouble. But with that, I've just seen to the north, someone who does look like they're in trouble is VG Gone, who is very much by himself while the rest of his team is in the circle. I hope everything is okay with Gone.
I feel like he's like just right now chilling with his Saverni. He wanted to loot a bit. Maybe he was got left behind. He's like maybe he was AFK for some time. But one thing that we were discussing, like what went wrong with 7K AKS. But I like a better topic. How much comfortable 7 AKS is right now within this circle, or what good can come out of their position right now. Because looking at their position, they are in the center. They got covered by left and right by teams as well. All they have to do is play it passively. They like put up a good wall, and they are right now in a good position to like secure some eliminations as well. But circle has taken a shift. It has moved completely towards the main island, almost making shelter at the center right now, making teams questionable whether the circle is going to go towards Milta, towards the prison area, towards the mansion. And it's been a really long while we have seen the circle move towards the area, circle closing it out towards the prison areas. I would like to see some prison getting into action, but for now, all the team is moving towards the center of the circle, which is away from prison and Milta's areas. But one thing that was majorly concerning for me is that south island that is getting connected towards the north and towards the main island and the bridge outside of Nova Pinoy. Team Equinox and Team Stronger Esports probably will be using that, and there's a very good chance somebody might be camping it out a bit, and we could see some easy knocks coming towards your way as well. Unfortunately for Team Stronger and Equinox, but this could be what any team might have just predicted as well. Okay, obviously these teams might just use this bridge, and we should camp it a bit and look for those 3 to 4 eliminations as well if things get lucky.
Yeah, and it looks like we now have one who just got knocked outside the zone. Hopefully, he will be rest. I think that was Astra Esports. Again, I feel like some of the teams are playing with fire, and also something to keep in mind is that as this circles are coming in, the amount of damage which you get from it is more, and it increases. So you gotta keep in mind about your health. It is important, and like moments like that can be a little scary. Getting knocked out and hopefully your mates being able to revive you and having those health packs. That's important. And right now we are seeing ISSL with the 7AKS in a very close opportunity for them to start maybe opening up their accounts, because since the initial part of Inertia and RX getting the first two eliminations, things have been relatively quiet.
Obviously,
And
but
on
as
the
you
knock,
said, I mean, as you pointed out, we have the casters girls coming in, SITM taking fight against Team 2A, and Astra Esports is not going to be happy with that outcome. Especially, they were looking to strengthen their position while qualifying to the final. Loses one of their very key players, Billy, an aggressive player, tries to go in, tries to be tries to rush in, be the first person to take an initiation to break the barrier, and he losing 2A. Losing that is very big of a disadvantage while going into this game. Especially, we have 16 teams still alive, 61 players, only 3 players have left us. But one thing that you've pointed out is, except those couple of engagements, a couple of players going down, we have nothing happening out throughout the map. It has been 12th minute of the game. There's not been a huge fight within any of those teams. There have been a couple of shots fired, one or two players going out of the game, 3 players totally going out of the game. Other than that, it has just been very slow, very calm, and every team trying to play passively, trying to trying to feel out left and right, like where exactly the other teams are situated, trying to prefer the circle as well at the same time. But it's just like that. It's going to be very difficult, especially we see there's a lot of cluster towards the Milta area. There's a lot of teams holding those areas, but other than that, every team is equally dispersed across the map. There's not a cluster. There are a lot of teams towards the north area, there are a lot of teams towards the west area as well. East is relatively empty because I feel like nobody feels like the circle is going towards the prison, and that's the answer as well. The circle has taken a shift towards the side of farm and school and the centers area in between, and we have left prison and Milta, and this explains our question as well, that why there weren't teams on the right side of the map.
yeah, and while we were just talking there, if you noticed that in Milta we had the 7AKS and Noob Alliance, neither of them engaged one another. They kept just gauging to see if the other pushed. And B Soulless seems to have just been knocked and eliminated by Team Classic. So they also been able to open up their account. And I think now things are going to start picking up. Here we go. SITM Pubg in a fair bit of trouble and being knocked out by VG's Warzone. So it is Victor Gaming taking on SITM right now. And these and both these teams are really good, especially VG's counter-offensive have in many instances proved to be working out very well for them. Especially yesterday, we saw how they were able to get away in what would have been an obvious. We see a car knock too on the feed. An obvious squad elimination, but they managed to come up on top and they were able to eliminate the opposing team. Right now, it is a Jiro coming in for the aid of his teammates, as two of them have gotten knocked. VG, it's only Warzone who is in a little bit of trouble, but being rezzed at this time. Damage, he has proved to be their MVP. Gone, been taken down. There's some beautiful shots there by Jiro. Being able to take the VG player out from that flank that we were expecting there.
Exactly, but I feel like SITM has tried their best to revive their player, but it's going to be very difficult as VG is all up on the side of Team SITM. Geo goes down by Nate coming in from the side of VG. Only one player left. They are trying to spot him, but the VG gets their hand on 3 easy kills. It's just 3 elimination. They got their hand on first one though. The rest two will easily play it out. As we were talking about Dobu, he might just not be able to do any kind of support, any kind of backup to this team. Is really far away, and the distance between him and his team is absolutely a lot, and I feel like that's a good thing right now. With SITM losing 3 of these players, he can just look like to get out of this situation, try to look for the survival points, as he cannot provide any kind of mechanical support or technical support to his team. So all he gotta do is like survive for his team and survive for his country generally. But for now, 16 teams are live, and SITM will be the first one to take to lose a huge chunk of their players. At the same time, VG, they didn't lose a single player in this engagement. They got one of their players knocked on, but he was being revived. They got themselves 3 eliminations as well, so they're off to a wonderful start. At the same time, these 3 eliminations against the best team of the tournament right now, so I feel like kudos to them.
Yeah, and I think what VG did there was that they wanted to take out SITM. They did not want, because SITM, especially when it comes to the last few circles, are very strategic, and their plays seem to outmaneuver everyone else. And it was a good opportunity which VG had, and they were able to capitalize on it. They saw the fact that it was a 3v4 and were able to get those quick eliminations in. Though SITM did not go down without inflicting any sort of injury to VG. That's important. They always fight till the last bullet, and VG though were very fortunate in being able to take them on and come out on top. Now, even here, we're seeing RX just behind this supercar of his Zolex. Uh, I'm not sure what exactly he's trying to be doing there. And we have a BIT with 2 of their members having been knocked here, and 3, in fact, it's Classic Esports, the Team Classic to be more precise, who is taking on BIT, and there is 1 elimination from a Classic there. Uh, Again, the Team Classic has been on the top with bad intentions. However, it seems that they seem to be in a fair bit of a bother right now.
Obviously, we got OPX on their south side, Team INES on their right side, a bit of shots coming in, and Niconox also rotating right behind them as well. So CSC, they are in a bit of trouble if they're not able to find themselves a really good position. We see Hopeless trying to use some kind of smoke. Dobu, despite the fact that he's the last player alive, 270 meters away from the circle, but that will not allow him to put a stop to his aggression. Spot Dexter deals a lot of damage. I'm not quite sure if he was the one that takes him down, and exactly not he was the one. It was just VG gone from the right across the map that spots him and takes B Dexter out of the game. Dobu, trying to rotate into the cycle, has to be careful that it's not going to be an easy move, right? Going right towards the side of VG takes a lot of damage, but hopefully he hasn't taken any kind of damage to his health. It's just his vehicle that's being provided some kind of armor to hit themselves there. But fortunately for himself, that he has got himself into a bit of cover, trying to use some kind of smoke, but he gets spotted by Warzone. There's a bit of damage, but Warzone unfortunately couldn't exactly land all of his shot. Dobu tries to get ahead of him, deals a bit of retaliation there, and tries to get back at VG place, but unfortunately he wasn't also able to do so. But Dobu, how long can you survive? And that's a big fat no, it's not going to be for long, as Warzone spots him again, takes him down, and SITM will be the third team to bite the dust. For now, Team RX on the other side, they're looking really good position within the circle. Towards the northeast side, they have got a great compound as well. They got vehicles, 4 players alive, good loot, and I feel like they could turn this into a very good game. As we were talking about Team Classic on the other side, they are being pinned down. 1 bro player bites the dust, and we have, I feel like, just 2 players left on the side of Team Classic. Hopeless is also bleeding on the other side. ISSL right next to Team 7 AKs. They got a good spot, but they have not got a lot of cover, so something needs to be done about that. They're already using a couple of smokes and using vehicles to find cover, but they have to get out of this situation because this is nothing too comforting for them.
Yeah, and speaking of eliminated teams, Bad Intentions was the first to get eliminated, followed by Equinox, then NB Esports, to SITM, and then we had B Esports. So some of the big names have already been taken out, and VG is seeming to show some dominance already with 6 eliminations, and neck and neck, in fact, with the Team Classic. And both teams, I believe, are holding on to all 4 of their ranks, and just behind them is a CMF with 4 eliminations. And just a short while there ago, just before SITM's last player was eliminated, he in fact tried to third party, but actually helped VG's situation, which felt a little ironic, having had 3 of his members eliminated there. But of course, I'm pretty sure he did not know who they were having the skirmish with there. And right now, VG overall seem very comfortable as they are constantly moving. They don't seem they take on a team, and then as soon as it's over, they seem to be rotating. They're not keeping to those same positions. And right now, we see CMF has lost a dictator. And ISSL is in a bit of trouble. Two of their members have gotten knocked, and Jimmy trying to get that revive in. And zone 2 is something to consider because it is getting a little pressured. And unfortunately, ISSL has also been eliminated. They were in the 11th position. So with those three eliminations which they got, it'll be interesting to see in the overall standings after the first game how it's going to play out. 7AKS also losing one of its members.
Exactly, I feel like that's going to be the case right now. But for now, we got the 6th circle coming in. It's taking a shift towards the northern side as well. Team INS trying to rotate. Team Classic as well. They're trying to hopefully finding a good spot within the circle. Unfortunately, it's going to be very difficult. As we have Team INS on the right side, we have Team Call in right in front, CMF on the left side. Team CSC, they are just trying to spot any kind of good tree, any kind of vehicle as well. Eric gets himself a great tree, parks his vehicles vertically, takes a lot of shots on the right side, and his vehicle might just go down in a few seconds. On the other side, INES grabs the shot from Vessel onto Hopeless, and Hopeless goes down. Eric has taken a lot of damage. He's using some smoke, but his car bursting, it takes him down, and Eric is also very low on HP. But fortunately for Team VG, look at them, 8 eliminations, 4 players alive, and they're looking super good right now. They're handling damages, getting themselves some great knocks all across the map, from the north part of the circle towards the southern part of the circle. I mean, they are towards the northern part, and they are just landing shots on Hopeless, which is almost towards the southern part of the map. And they got the great map control, they got the great covers as well, and they got the great idea of where exactly the shots are coming from. So I feel like they're in a great spot to get the chicken dinner as well. But it's gonna be not gonna be so easy. All they have to do is keep the momentum going and to convert this game into a really good one. Let's see exactly how it's going to be back. But Team INES, after losing one of the players, Faisal, they are still moving ahead, trying to make sure that they get themselves really great points. But oh no, Faisal has also been revived in that sticky situation. I thought he might just went away, but no. Kudos to INES that they revived their player in the nick of an health. At the same time, CSC, just Kenny Ox left from behind for the Team CSC. He's still surviving, but a nade coming from INES deals a lot of damage to him. One more bullet, one more nade, and it might be game over. As we was talking about that, Evil's Eye through wonderful nade gets it connected, and Team Classic leaves us at the main map of Angle. 5 teams are remaining, 18 players alive. And at the same time, we have Team Classic eliminated, like 8 elimination points. So INS making a big rotation towards the shack as well. Tails right into 2A. One of those players goes down to A. Riley, trying to retaliate back. Pulls off a 1v2. Can he keep it going against Evil Eye and Alpha? At the same time, he got the kills on Sharp. He gets elimination on Sharp. Tries to come in from the right side, but Evil Eye from the behind spots him down, deals a lot of damage, and finally takes him. And at the same time, it was RX Zolox with his nade coming from the other angle that helped Team INS in this sticky situation. So I feel like Team INS might be happy with that outcome, but unfortunately for themselves, they also lost 3 of these players in this engagement. Team RX, they're just like fighting this from the right angle, and they're not committing themselves too much, and they're like, oh, some great eliminations coming, some team trying to rotate into the circle, let's just take them out. But for now, I feel like Team VG right in the center of the map, Team Call Macman on the right side, Team INS towards the north side, not Team INS, just Evil Eye towards the north side, and RX on the left side. I feel like it could be anyone games, but Team VG has to be careful as they are in the center and could be sandwiched from right and left, and maybe some helpful shot from coming from Evil Eye as well. So they have to be careful from 3 angles, and some smokes are being used just to create some cover. But it could be very difficult for VG.
And RX, who has been in the 16th position, are in the top 4. That is something which we really need to highlight here. And they are going against the likes of VG, who are still in, and Inertia Esports with just one of its members in. And looks like right now VG's damage has just been eliminated. So it's an opportunity. Maybe Retaliation X might take this opportunity to maybe use that airdrop as a little bit of cover and maybe push and get a few eliminations in on VG, as Evil Eye is all by himself from Inertia Esports. It is an opportunity, but then we also have MacPen, who are also in with their full squad. Maybe something to consider for RX before they maybe make that push.
But for now, VG, as they want to, like other teams want to make a push, VG in a good place as well. They might just get pinned down, as we were talking about a bit earlier. All they have to do is make sure they survive this storm out, and the Warzone taking a lot of damage from the north area. This is what we were talking about. INES coming from the other angle, Team Call coming from the left side. VG has to survive this. If they survive it, they will get the chicken dinner, but it's looking very, very difficult as one needs also get connected. Warzone goes down. Only one player left on the side of VG. Gon tries to provide some kind of hope for his team, but what can you do when each one of your players is bleeding right and left and you are being surrounded? Gone using nade on the Team RX side as well, and nades get connected on Flex. Flex goes down. RX also takes a lot of damage. Zolex from the other angle, he might just be able to provide some kind of support, but look at that. INES, Evil Eye, and Gone doesn't know exactly what to do, where to look. He's covered from right, left, and in front, and he has to take this fight, otherwise things can go really bad for him. At the same time, one of his players who was knocked down also gets eliminated. That only leaves him within the game. 4 teams alive, and Team Call, they are looking super good right now. They were far away from all of this engagement, now coming in and trying to take out whatever is left of this fight, and spotted out Zolex as well, but he's on the other side of that crate, and Zolex takes some damage from the north area as well. Pelzang just trying to make it. As soon as Zolex gives him a bit of peek, he will take him down. Purdy also goes down at the hand of VG. VG Gone tries to get up to it, tries to deal a bit of damage, and with the low of HP, he was able to do so. Takes down Purdy. Zolex is the only one left, but VG Gone will also bite the dust. Zolex also takes a lot of damage. That automatically leaves Team Call behind in this game. And look at that. It's just not any team. It's just INES, Evil Eye left behind along with Team MacPen. That was unexpected at all.
And there he goes. Losing out there to the zone and giving MacPen the opportunity to come in with the winner chicken dinner with the 6 eliminations, 21 points, and a total of 965 damage. Kudos to them being able to hold their entire ranks in, even during the final circle when things were getting absolutely chaotic. They were able to get into that very good position. A Retaliation X, again, they had that opportunity, which I think they were a little hesitant in making that push upon VG to maybe get a few of those eliminations and then kind of pressure to that area and kind of like cover to then move on to MacPen. But what amazing work there by MacPen, as you can see right now. 3